And she's probably, stop. She's probably one of our success stories, or probably our biggest success story. She came to us with a mate who unfortunately we lost just 2 weeks ago, Zeppelin. She was an extremely timid dog. She had never been a day in her life without Zeppelin. Now, she came to us heartworm positive. She came to us with a torn ACL, and she was very timid. Today, she has had surgery on her knee. She is 100%. Her heartworm obviously was treated, and she's been spayed, and she still sometimes will back off when you go to pet her, but we can now touch her and interact with her, which is a very different dog from the dog that came to us a year and a half ago.
So I've seen these are two I've seen the border collie that I mentioned quite a few times. Are these the two that run and play together?
Yes, they do. Now Dodger.
And they're so different temperament, it seems.
They are, and he's. This is great because we were worried when we lost Zeppelin that Blue would regress a little because she was always very dependent on her. Luckily, we were and she doesn't like many other of the dogs around here.
But these two definitely get along.
They get along.
I've seen them running and playing together.
He's got a great temperament. His name is Dodger, and he is something that we don't do very often. Andy calls me one day and says, "I've got good news and bad news." And I said, "Okay, what's the good news?" He says, "I saved the dog from being hit by a car." I said, "Great, what's the bad news?" He says, "We just got ourselves another dog." He was dodging cars on the highway.
That's the name Dodger.
He was almost hit by the car that Andy was in. And Andy opened the door, the dog jumped in. We notified, and he's been here ever since, and this was in January. We notified all the humane societies in the area. There were no records of anybody showing that they lost this dog. He's got a wonderful temperament, and he's actually been a great ambassador because he's got a temperament that we can virtually put any dog with him. So any of the dogs that you want to see, they want to interact with other dogs but have issues with other dogs, he's the one that they play with. And
I've heard that, you found him on the freeway. I've heard that people who put, for example, their dogs in their back of their truck unleashed and such, a lot of those dogs end up jumping out, become lost, maybe something like that happened with...
Well, he has such a great temperament, we were sure he got lost. And because we believe he's not a border collie, actually. I thought you were talking about Aussie when you mentioned border collie. He's either a husky or a Malamute cross.
Okay.
And
it's in
the nature of those breeds to run. And he's young. He was young. He was estimated when he came here to be about 1.5 years, 2 years old. And he was extremely well socialized. His nails were clipped. I mean, he looked like great condition. I was sure he was lost. But you know what? No claims. And lucky for us and him that...
So he's not a border collie. Okay.
No,
I was confused.
Anyway,
and I thought because of his size and his shape that he was a border collie, but you'll have to show me the difference because, again, I'm somewhat uneducated when it comes to dogs.
But this has been great for Blue because, she even though she lost Zeppelin, she has not lost the companion, the idea of companionship. And no, this is great that they're together. But he goes out. He's out all day with different dogs.
That's what I was saying. He's the one that I've seen all the time.
He's really our therapy dog, if you will.
And I could tell he wanted to go out again. He was coming. He goes over to the gate and he says, "Hey."
And he was a French speaker. He's now.
Oh, he speaks French.
Yeah, he came from the Gatineau side, and he certainly responded to French. He had very few commands in his vocabulary, but he responded to them better in French at the beginning.
Parlez-vous français?
But now he's good. He's bilingual.
Oh, so dogs, just like humans, pick up commands in whatever language the family that had them.
Well, I think they also understand tone because it's not that he didn't sit, but not as quickly as if you said it in French.
Very interesting. Well, yeah, I had a friend who had a dog that was bilingual. They were Cuban, and they had this dog that responded to commands in Spanish and also later in English as he got older and Gabriel went to English schools.